games late winter, early spring. It's a clean window. You can usually get away with putting new IP there. Not this year. This year was tough. This year we had, you may know some of these, Mass Effect 2 and Battlefield Bad Company 2, two of our own titles, creating some noise ourselves. Heavy Rain, really innovative, got a ton of buzz, really great game. And then 3 blockbuster titles. I mean, these are really significant titles. God of War 3, the end of the series, Alien vs. Predator, and BioShock 2. I mean, that's tough. And these are all sequels and established franchises with the exception of Heavy Rain. So as we sat down and thought about our go-to-market strategy, we knew we needed to be innovative. You might have noticed we put Dante's in the Super Bowl. We had to do things that were different, that were a little uncomfortable for EA. We had to go further with our marketing. And one of the things that we thought about was social media gaming. We've done programs, like I said before, with varying degrees of success, but we wanted to go further with it. And so we sat down and thought about our objectives. Best way to start your plan, right? So first of all, let's increase awareness and generate buzz for the Dante's Inferno package product. Promote interest and increase purchase intent. Convert these social media gamers into packaged good players. I mean, that's it right there, isn't it? And then this last one, this was pretty unique. I mean, this is a marketing tool. But we thought, why can't we generate revenue from microtransactions, build in that functionality? We hadn't done it before. Pretty amazing, right? How stupid is that? We had never done that before. We've got programs out there that people are engaging in, and we're not monetizing it. So we thought, we'll set the bar kind of low and see what happens. So it was a little bit of a test. So I'm just going to give a quick overview of the game. This might come as a surprise. We didn't do this game ourselves. We partnered with a developer, Labs, and I digress, but this was before our acquisition of Playfish, so it may change in the future because now we've brought that developer in-house. But at the time, when we were working on this program, we didn't have that capability in-house. And rather than reinventing the wheel, rather than trying to do it ourselves, we went and found someone who's great at doing it. And you may recognize some of their, these are Facebook programs and applications, Band of Heroes and Diva Life, but they're best known for their quizzes and giftings. And I know you all have seen those kinds of things. So let's go ahead and take a look at Dante's itself, the game. So that's what I was having troubles pulling up before. Little bit of an overview here. So this, I've just logged in, and you can see right away it awards me, rewards me for coming back every day. It gives me this King Midas, I don't know what that is, I think that's an artifact or a relic. Is anyone an RPG player or familiar with role-playing games and how they run, how they work? Okay, so yeah, we got a gamer back there. They're really static, and so I want to caveat that because this is going to seem really boring. There's no action that takes place. There's no guys coming and fighting each other. That's in the core product. But for this, it all is based on kind of like a card game. So each of these artifacts have value, and when you put them up against each other, whoever has the most power will win. That's really a dumbed-down version of it, but you get the idea. Okay, so if we come into the product here, you can see this is it immediately sends me to this gifting section. Again, Labs, their core is in gifting and quizzes. So I can go on and pick something here, and then proceed to send, bringing more people into the franchise, more people into this game with my friends. Okay, and you guys have probably gotten those kinds of, here's a, I don't know, tomato patch for Farmville or whatever it may be, trying to pull you in. If we go onto the home page here, you can see, if you scroll down, you kind of get this is just a dashboard of everything that's happened. I can see, folks that have been attacking me. I can see, some of the different things that are going on. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the missions. This is really the single-player type mode of this game, so this is all done in isolation here. And I hope there's no content sensitivities. This is a game about hell, so... So if you go down here, if I wanted to do the Bridge to Lust mission, literally all I would do is click on this button. So I'll go ahead and find what I can do. Okay. So there, I click the task. You see the cross, and that's it. I'm done. That's the whole game, really. So I just keep clicking this button, and I watch that progress bar fill up. It's kind of addicting. You keep pressing the button. I get more rewards, and these are the kinds of things that now I can go to the next level, which is battling. And this is where it starts getting into that social space. So I can go down, and I don't know these people. These are just people who play the game and are around my level in the game. So I can go and see, if we go to battle, can I beat them? So I'm gonna attack Stefan here and see what happens. So again, no action. It's very static. So here you can see I've attacked this person, and I won. That's it, yeah, that easy, right? And I can, here, make it shareable, so I can share my victory. You can see, if I'm really interested, I can go in and look at all the different tools that I used, how Stefan defended. I mean, you can really geek out on this stuff. I don't pretend to understand it very well. But then I can go down and I can fight more people. And the whole reason I do this is to get, like it says here, experience and souls, so I can, establish who I am, and I can go on and advance more in the game. Now, up here in the corner, you can see kind of this is all of my statistics. I've got my health, my virtue, and my energy, and these are the things that I need to have to continue playing in the game. So every time I attack someone, every time I do a mission, these deplete, and they auto-generate about one unit for every 1 minute and 50 seconds. So it's pretty slow. You can see how fast it would be. I mean, you might get, if you're lucky, 6 minutes of straight game time here, and then everything's depleted. And depending on how much capacity you have, you could be waiting an hour before you can play again. So I mentioned that because it's key in how we made this program successful. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint. So you got a little bit of an idea of the game. Okay. So let's go back to those objectives. First one, increase awareness and generate buzz. How are we going to do that? Well, LOL apps, they're pretty big. They have a network of 50 million monthly active users. Pretty impressive. If you think about who the Facebook casual and social media gaming players are, they're women 35 plus. Let's be honest. They're not going to play or buy a game about hell and horrors of Babylon. That's not in their, in their interest set. So what we did with LOL apps, and this was part of the reason why we chose them as a partner, is they have this really neat, sophisticated, and proprietary algorithm that goes in through these quizzes and gifting apps, pulls in the most relevant players, pulls in people who actually would care about this product. So it's not that we're just getting volume. We're not getting all those 50 million monthly active users. We're getting folks that will really be interested in this and evangelize and pull other folks into the game. Okay, gets the next objective, increasing purchase intent and igniting interest. The thing that we really wanted to do is we wanted to be very, very true to the game itself. So we took all of the assets that we had in-house, and we tried to replicate them on the RPG game. So it mirrored all of the different levels, it mirrored all of the different art styles, and the funny thing is, this program was not labor intensive for us. We sourced all of this. So this art that you see here on the left, I'm sorry, it's a bit dark. This is actually pulled from the Facebook RPG game. These are screenshots on the right. So you can see how well they're correlated. The tone of them, the art style, everything is done directly in line with the game. So it was very true to the fiction of the game and the style presented. This artwork on the left here was done, and it was outsourced in Malaysia through LOL Labs. We had creative control. We sent them an early copy of the game. We were all the way a part of it with them, but we were not actually producing it. So we didn't tax our studio team anymore. I think that's really interesting because, again, you would just assume naturally that why weren't we doing this ourselves? Well, we didn't need to. We got a great program, and it was very manageable on our side in terms of bandwidth. Okay, next we've got this idea of converting players to packaged good players. So the thinking here was, let's go ahead and incentivize pre-order and purchase using these elusive game tokens. I didn't show them earlier in the game, but you can kind of see here, these tokens they're pretty useful if you want to keep playing the game. Rather than waiting an hour, you can go and spend 10 tokens and get full health or full virtue or whatever you need. Maybe you picked a bad name, and mine's pretty boring, it's just my first name, and now maybe I want to be something a little more salacious. I can spend these tokens and go in and change that. So these tokens, you don't get them just by playing the game. You've got to advance an entire level. There's a lot of time that you have to put into getting a single token. If you look here, you need at least 10 tokens to do anything worthwhile. So what we did was, we said, okay, you want tokens, you want a lot of tokens, we'll give you 250 tokens if you buy the game. So if anyone here plays any of these social media gaming any of these applications, you recognize this. It's the fish bucks, or it's I don't know what Farmville is, I actually don't play it. But, it's this currency that is incredibly valuable so that you can advance in levels and keep playing your game. You can play it for free, that's fine. but you're going to get to a point where you're going to max out, and then you're going to have to wait, or you're going to have to go and entice someone and bring them in. You're going to have to go spam your friends. You have to do something so that you can continue moving on. Okay, so finally, this objective of generating revenue from these microtransactions. Same thing, game tokens. They are popular. So in this instance, we were selling them in bundles. You could buy 29 for $4.99. Not surprising, that's the most popular package. The funny thing here is I brought the favors and the tokens back up on the other side so you can look at them. If you look at the bundles, they're all in increments of 29 and 59. But if you look at the favors, the price for them, they're all in 5s and 10s. So you can see right there, the math doesn't quite add up. You can do two things, but you're going to have to pony up some more money to do a third thing, whatever. Okay, so you've got an idea of what we did. How successful was it, really? Well, against our first two objectives, increasing awareness and promoting interest and increasing purchase intent, within 1 week, there were 1.1 million monthly active users. 1 week, 7 days, and 220,000 daily active users. You can see at the bottom here the hockey stick. That's 1 week of activity. We had a peak of 5.1 million monthly active users and 260,000 daily active users. And on average, we were at the 2.7 million for monthly and 140,000 for daily active users. That's impressive. I mean, this is new IP and something we've never really done before. I put this figure up here. I'm not really interested in talking about the application fans because that's really a passive role. You can become a fan of the application and not actually become engaged in it, but there's 128,000 fans of the application. So I don't like that for this type of a program. I think the engagement is much more compelling and a better story. So against the converting RPG players to packaged good players, we had a 1.2% conversion rate. That may sound low, but if you think about our business, is still over 90% of our business is done with someone going to the store, handing out cash, giving a card, and then they have physical cash back. The rest of it's done online. But for the most part, it's not very good. So for us to have this level of conversion is impressive. I mean, we're really actually surprised that we were able to generate that much conversion from these microtransactions. And then again, the revenue from microtransactions, 275% return on investment. That's just the microtransactions. That does not include the game or the game conversion rate. So 100% of all of that return just came from our initial investment, which included everything from developing the game to the art style to pulling fans in, the whole bit. 275% return on investment. We take that to a manager and tell me they're not going to be really happy. And while I can't say how much we spent on the program, I can tell you right now it's a lot less than you think. So I encourage you, if this is something you're interested in, RFP some folks and see what's out there. It's still live. That's the other thing. I mean, it's certainly losing steam. That's the funny thing about video games. They're hot and then they're not at all hot. But this one's still live, so there's only upside from here. So just some key takeaways, things for you to think about. Solve for the problem at the platform. I skipped that slide, but you get the idea. You know what that's about. Understand how social network gaming is growing. It's growing, absolutely. It's growing on different platforms, and it's growing very fast. But be cognizant of how it's growing. Maybe you do want to go after these women 35 plus because that's the core age for a Facebook gamer. Maybe you don't. So maybe you should think about other opportunities. But there is absolutely opportunity there. The boat has not sailed. You might think that it's too congested and that Zynga's just going to wipe us all out with it. Not true. There's, you might not get the 83 monthly active users that Farmville has, but we got 5 million on Dante, so you can do it. Don't try to do everything. Marketers try to reinvent the wheel a lot. We're guilty of it. We all are. But partner with some professionals. There are a lot of folks out there who are very good at this and can do amazing work for you for a very reasonable amount of money. And I can send some suggestions if anyone is really interested. As always, establish your success metrics and KPIs. That just goes without saying. And then this last point, I really didn't talk about this, but I'm going to share just one other little piece from another title where we did some work with social media gaming. Be prepared for fallout. Let me pull this next slide and kind of get an idea. You might be able to read a couple of these things. So The Godfather 2, you probably know the Paramount Pictures film from the 1970s. We did a video game for it. It released last April. And as part of this, we thought, mafia wars and mobsters and Mob Wars and all of those, they're pretty popular. What if we brought the authentic Godfather IP to one of these programs? What would happen? Is there still room? So we created the Godfather 2 Crime Rings as a social media game. It was on Facebook. We launched it last spring, and it took off. It took off in a way that we couldn't have even imagined. I mean, even though this market was so saturated with these mobster-type games, there was an appetite for this authenticity. I mean, that really speaks well to the power of brands and that authenticity that you can bring to the space. The game got so popular that, honestly, it was a marketing tool. So, again, we didn't have any type of monetization going on. Huge missed opportunity. And it wasn't deep. The game just buckled under the weight of the demand for it. It was really shallow, so the length of gameplay that was available was pretty short. You could get a couple hours in, but that's it. So in the end, we thought we could maybe get on the backside, kind of like Zynga does, and have it live in this beta form and still continuously update it so that as people were progressing through, we're kind of building the house as they're going up the stairs. We couldn't keep up. It was remarkable. So you can see here some of these comments. This is actually, I started working on this presentation months ago, and so the last one I was able to get was on January 25th. The site's completely down now, so if you go to look for it, it's gone. But there was demand 6-7 months after we had pulled the game down. People still saying, hey, you said it was going to come back in the fall, where is it? I really want to play that game again. And other people saying, like, but where'd it go? When are you bringing it back? And then other people trying to get on there and saying, why doesn't it work? So they were still evangelizing. They were still hungry for this 7 months later. I mean, that's just remarkable to me. They were so passionate about this. So, be prepared. If you're going to do this, do it right. Don't go in and think that, no one's ever going to care about my little game. They might. And if they do, make sure you take care of them. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And the last speaker, which is a tough